We think of medieval ovens as just for baking bread. But what if I told you a single clay system could do far more? That one fire, just one, could roast meat, bake loaves, stew beans, dry herbs, and even keep your food warm all night. No switches, no settings, just heat stored and released in perfect stages. And the ash from that same fire, it became cleaning power soap for dishes, clothes, and skin. This wasn't just an oven, it was a complete household engine, built by hand, fueled by knowledge. And today, I'll show you exactly how to build one yourself, with nothing but clay, straw, and fire. Medieval builders didn't have thermometers, no lab tools, no textbooks, just observation and time. They watched how clay behaved when fired. They noticed that dome shapes resisted cracking, that certain clays stored heat longer, that small changes in ratio, clay to sand to straw, made the difference between success and failure. What began as a village bread oven became something far more advanced. A shared heat system, a center of the home that cooked, dried, warmed, and connected the entire household. These weren't aristocratic luxuries. They were community-built, crafted by people who understood materials not through theory, but through feel, and who solved problems not with money, but with design. Skill 1. 5-stage heat management system. Modern ovens operate on a simple binary on or off. You heat them up, then wait for them to cool down. But medieval oven builders understood something far more elegant, that thermal mass could be programmed. With a single firing, they created 5 distinct cooking environments, each tuned to a specific temperature range, each ideal for a different task. It all began with fire. A pile of hardwood burned directly in the clay chamber. Once the flames died down and the coals were swept out, the oven was primed, fully charged with heat, ready to perform. Stage 1. Baking bread. At peak temperature, the oven reached around 260 degrees O, too hot to touch, but perfect for bread. Medieval bakers didn't need thermometers. They'd toss a pinch of flour into the chamber. If it browned in 10 seconds, it was ready. Too fast, still too hot. Too slow, you missed the window. This was the moment for dense loaves, where crust needed to form, fast, locking in moisture and building structure. Stage 2. Roasting. As the heat dropped naturally to around 200 degrees C, the oven entered its second phase. Now came joints of meat, whole chickens, root vegetables. The residual heat was ideal, hot enough to sear and brown, gentle enough to cook evenly without drying out. No turning knobs, no checking timers, just intuition earned through use. Stage 3. Stewing. After a few more hours, the chamber cooled to roughly 150 degrees. This was stew territory. Casseroles, beans, porridges, all cooked inside sealed clay pots. The heat was steady, enclosed, silent. You could leave it overnight, and by morning, everything would be tender, fragrant, and rich. This wasn't fast cooking. It was flavor through patience. Stage 4. Drying. Below boiling, but still active, the oven shifted into a food preservation chamber. Fruits, herbs, mushrooms, even grains. Everything could be laid out to dry slowly. No risk of burning, no electricity, no sun needed. And because the heat was uniform and sealed, drying was consistent essential for long-term storage. Stage 5. Warming and incubation. By now, hours had passed, but the oven was still warm enough to keep bread soft meals ready for second servings, or even cultured dairy for cheese making. In some homes, this final warmth heated the space around it. No energy wasted, just heat, used completely. One fire, 5 functions. With a single batch of wood, medieval families cooked everything, while we rely on 5 different appliances: ovens, slow cookers, food, dehydrators, warming drawers, cheese incubators. They relied on one clay chamber and deep thermal knowledge. No digital sensors, no thermostats, just observation memory and timing. And, to this day, no modern system matches that kind of elegant efficiency. Skill 2. Building a traditional clay oven. You don't need factory materials. You don't need power tools. You only need the right soil, the right ratios, and a bit of patience. Medieval craftsmen built their ovens with 4 materials: clay-rich soil, coarse sand, chopped straw, and fire bricks. That's it. Let me walk you through it. Step 1. The base. Start with a flat circle 80 centimeters wide made from fire bricks. This is the cooking floor, the place where bread and roasting pans will sit directly. So it has to be perfectly level. Medieval builders used water to check flatness. If water pooled in one spot, they adjusted the surface until it spread evenly. No spirit level, just common sense. This brick layer also absorbs and holds heat, so don't skip it. Step 2. The mixture. The recipe is simple. 3 parts clay soil, 1 part coarse sand. Add chopped straw until the mix holds but doesn't stick. You don't measure it like baking. You feel it. That's how medieval builders did it. They mixed with their feet. A method that still works best today. You stomp until the texture feels springy but firm. Test it. Roll a ball of the clay, mix in your hands. If it cracks, add more straw. If it sticks, add more sand. When it holds shape, doesn't crumble, and rings when tapped, you've got it. Step 3. Building the dome. Here comes the physics. Start with damp sand. Pile it into a dome about 40 centimeters high. This is just a form. It will be removed later. Pack the sand tight. Shape it with your hands. Then start applying your clay mix over the top. Layer by layer. Each layer should be 10 to 15 centimeters thick. Why that exact thickness? Too thin, it cracks under heat. Too thick, it wastes fuel and takes forever to heat. The ratio is time-tested. Medieval builders learned it the hard way. Step 4. The door. This is where most modern builds fail. They get the door wrong. Your opening should be 20 centimeters wide, 12 centimeters tall. Why so precise? Because the height is exactly 63% of the dome. That ratio ensures proper airflow. Not too much heat escapes, but the fire still breathes. Too big heat flies out. Too small smoke and poor combustion. The math matters even if they didn't use rulers. Step 5. Drying and hollowing. Now wait. Let the clay dry for 3 to 4 days. Not completely, just firm enough like leather. Then remove the sand. Gently. Through the front door. Now tap the dome with your knuckles. If it rings hollow, perfect. If it thuds, it's still wet. If it cracks, it dried too fast. Let it finish curing slowly, naturally. No shortcuts. Step 6. First firing. You can't rush this part. The first fire must be small, low flame, long burn. Repeat over several days. Why? Because even after air drying, moisture is trapped inside. If you heat too fast, steam builds pressure and your dome cracks. Medieval builders knew this instinctively. They treated the oven like a living thing, warming it slowly, letting it breathe. Only after several gentle firings is the oven ready. The result: a dome of clay that holds heat for over 24 hours, handles hundreds of firing cycles, cooks, dries, stews, and warms with no electricity, and costs almost nothing except your time and care. This isn't primitive. It's resilient, replicable, and elegant, just like the people who built it. 1 clay oven, 1 wood fire, 5 cooking methods, days of warmth, and if you wanted soap too. This wasn't a kitchen appliance. It was an integrated survival system, a single design that baked bread, roasted meat, stewed beans, dried fruit, and warmed food through the night. It consumed no electricity, needed no replacement parts, and produced almost no waste. The same heat that cooked your meals could heat your home. The ash left behind could clean your clothes. Compare that to modern life, separate machines for each task. Ovens, stoves, slow cookers, food dehydrators, dishwarmers, space heaters, each drawing power, each demanding maintenance, each producing waste. We've built convenience, but lost resilience. We've gained automation, but lost understanding. Medieval families didn't chase efficiency with more gadgets. They designed with intent. Systems that work together naturally, cyclically, without waste. And the truth is, we can still build them today.